This video, we will overview the admin settings panel. To get there, you simply go to admin settings, and you'll see some basic settings available to you in smartphone. Now, a lot of these you will set when you first set up your system, but of course you can change them at any time. So the first box, localization, allows you to select some of the key local details of smartphone. You can set your time zone. This is critical for call flows involving business hours. Whatever time zone you set, we will default to that time zone for the business hours call flows, and you need to work plus or minus based on that. So, for instance, right now I'm Europe, Warsaw. If I wanted to set one that was in EST, I would do -6 hours. So I would adjust my time based on that. Second is a default country for phone number purchasing. This is the when you go to the phone numbers and you click to buy a new number, it will default to this country. The text to speech, you can choose whether it's a man, woman, or Alice. And the voice language you can select as well. Second big section is call settings. So the first is to choose to enable voicemail transcriptions. This means that the system will actually look to transcribe the voicemails that you receive and drop that text in your communication log as well. Can be quite useful if you're just wanting to see what a voicemail is about and decide whether you need to listen or not. But please note that fees do apply for those transcriptions. This is the global default of the dial timeout for outbound calls. So how long we will try to make an outbound call before we will kill it off. It affects both the browser and the mobile phone apps. Outbound recording, this basically is a universal setting to choose whether when you make outbound calls that you will record those calls. Do note, of course, that the fees are involved if you are recording calls. And of course, depending on your local rules and government legislation, you will have to notify people that you are recording them. We do ask that we do make sure that everybody is responsible for their own local jurisdictions, so please check your local laws. If you are a smartphone Pro user, you will see the ability to select the hold music. We have a certain amount of options here, and you can actually upload your own as well, which is something I've done a number of times where I've got my own, and then I break in occasionally with the "thank you for holding" kind of message as well, and that works well. The hold music is obviously going to be used as default across your system whenever one of your people puts someone on hold. Of course, this is a smartphone Pro user only. Then we've got some notifications. You can choose email notifications for when you get a voicemail or SMS. Choose whether or not the recipients will get an email notification of that coming in. That can be quite useful if you are struggling to get people to notice the voicemails and SMSs coming in. You can choose to silence the Podio notifications as well, so that when a new communication item is created, it will silence that creation and not have it notify you in Podio. Again, quite useful if you're trying to take noise off of your system in Podio. And finally, you can have a low balance notification. Now, of course, for low balance notification, we will send you a notice when you reach this limit. But of course, we do recommend on your dashboard that you enable auto recharge, which allows you to set a base level of when your balance reaches a certain level to chop it up to another level. That's something we certainly recommend to make sure that you are never go into negative balance and have your account suspended, and your account will always be open. So those are the smartphone core settings available in your admin setup here.